white people adopt black children?
I got a question. Why are there so many black children that need to be adopted? My second question is,
Why do white people adopt black children?
I got a question. Why are there so many black children that need to be adopted? My second question is, why do
white people adopt black children?
I got a question. Why are there so many black children that need to be adopted? My second question is, why do you care who adopts them and what color they are as long as they love that child and raise them right? And lastly, I see color. I see color. But when I see a little baby, I don't go, oh, look at that little white baby or look at that little black baby. These are babies. They haven't been filled with ignorance yet. Let them babies be babies and grow up to be good people.
To all the black TikTok content creators who reacted and laughed at this white man's post about black children being adopted, fuck all you motherfuckers. During my 3 years of content creating, I have never seen the black community shrug off something as serious as black children being left up for adoption like you motherfuckers just did. This white man decided to insert himself into black business by responding to a valid question asked by a black woman. Why are so many white people adopting black children? This white man stitched the video and asked, why is there so many black children that need to be adopted? And the black content creators that thought that shit was funny, fuck him and fuck you too. A simple Google search would have told you that white people have the most children up for adoption. The Administration of Children, Youth, and Families, by the way of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Administration for Children and Families states that in 2020, white people accounted for 43% or 175,000 children left up for adoption, followed by black or African American children at 23% or 92,000. Let's move up a year. In 2021, the Kids Count Data Center, by way of the Statista, reported that white people accounted for 44% who are currently living in adoption centers, with again 23% or 86,000 black children left up for adoption. These two reputable sources that could have easily been found, but you dumbasses attempted to justify a statement by using the good old per capita argument. Well, technically, the black community represents 14% of the children in America. Then it should be only 14% of black children in foster care. First of all, do you really think the 81,000 more white children who will still be left up for adoption if all the black children were provided places to live care about the percentage of the race of women who decided to abandon them? No. And the black women, you should be ashamed for even getting into this conversation because you all are responsible for the black community's overrepresentation of black children in foster care. Wait, let me guess. Since a white man spoke on it, y'all will give him grace and no pushback. But when I report the Centers for Disease Control in 2023 released the fertility statistics by way of the National Center for Health and Statistics, they stated that the data collected between 2015 and 2019 showed that 61% of black women aged 15 to 49 had a child, with 39% never birthing any. And only 46%, let me say that again, 46% of black men ever fathered children. And 54% of black men have never fathered children. But when I tell you that, an educated black man, mind you, now all of a sudden the CDC is biased towards black men and statistics don't matter. You see how that works? And let's not forget the pushback that the black men get for being the most involved fathers. This white man feels comfortable asking why so many black children are left up for adoption because I promise you that he's either listened to black women on social media spread this false narrative of black fathers being deadbeats, or he's actually looked up the statistic of 70% black children being born out of wedlock. So let me educate both groups, since white men and black women tend to share some of the same white supremacist talking points. According to the same CDC report, and during the same 4-year time span, black women birthed 1 million more children than black men had fathered, which means that they are procreating with the same small minority of black men and having children out of wedlock, mind you, with other races of men. Oh, and that 70%, that children out of wedlock statistic, it's actually true. But the percentage doesn't simply apply to black men and women procreating with each other, you dummies. The statistic represents the children that black women have birthed out of wedlock with all races of men, because currently about 40% of black people live in households headed by married couples. 31% have a sole female householder, and 5% have a black man as the sole head of the household. I know. It's hard to believe that black men are deadbeats, right? Especially when the National Library of Medicine published a 2018 study titled, actually, Race, Ethnicity, Differences, and Non-Resident Fathers' Involvement After a Non-Marital Birth. They actually reported that mothers of black men's children echoed the most involved statistics, saying that black men shared responsibilities more frequently and displayed more effective co-parenting than Hispanic and white fathers. This is furthered by the blackdemographics.com reporting that 66% of black fathers and only 41% of black mothers actually live with their partners at the time of their child's first birth, whether married or cohabitating. If you fall into the category of black women and white men who question these black fatherhood statistics, fuck you from the bottom of my heart. Now, this adoption per capita shit is exactly how the white media got black women to believe that 38% of black men are currently incarcerated. Let me put this shit into perspective for the black community. In 2022, Pew Research reported that there was 16.5 million black men over the age of 18 currently living in the United States. That 38% would represent approximately 6.2 million black men locked up. Are y'all stupid or just dumb? The prison population collects the data presented and illustrates the size and reach of our criminal justice system. In 2024, the United States prison population sits at 1.9 million. And that number represents 1,566 state prisons, 98 federal prisons, 3,116 local jails, 1,323 juvenile correctional facilities, 142 immigration detention facilities, and 80 Indian country jails, as well as military prisons, civilian commitment centers, psychiatric hospitals, and prisons in the U.S. territories. There are approximately 333 million people living in the United States. So that 1.9 million is approximately 0.5% of the total population. But since the black community is so focused on demonizing black men, let me give you an example. Let's say that 38% of black men, black women, and juveniles solely represent as black men. Only for this example, 38% of the total prison population of 1.9 million is approximately 722,000. So if 722,000 black men were removed from the 16.5 million black men over the age of 18, they would represent 4.3% of the total black male population, which would mean that 95.7% of your men are free and walking among you. Oh, wait, per capita, right? What about the overwhelming majority of white men who are great perpetrators? Yeah, black women, did you know that? Did you know that RAIN reported that 57% of grape and SA perpetrators are white? Oh, wait, per capita, right? Since white people represent approximately 59% of the population and black people represent 14% of the population, but account for 27% of the grape and SA perpetrators, that makes white folks underrepresented. Again, do you dumbasses really think that the victims care about the percentage of the race of the men or women who grape them? Or do they simply bear the pain of being raped? Right. So instead of asking women, would you rather be lost in the woods with a man or a bear? How about you rephrase the question and ask, would you rather be lost in the woods with a bear or a white man or a white woman? Yeah, black community. And I know there's going to be some black people defending this white man by saying that he just wants all children to find a home. Okay, but the topic of discussion still remains. Why are all of these white people adopting black children when there's far more white children that need homes? You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because it's cheaper. It's cheaper for these white families to purchase black children, you dumb motherfuckers. And you sitting there laughing. Take everything for a damn joke. Yeah, it's cheaper to purchase black children. There's been multiple studies and reports stating that non-white children are cheaper domestic adoption choices. Some reports say that the difference in cost with adopting a white child versus a black child could be upwards of $18,000. So while the black TikTok community is having a good old time with this white man's video, these white parents are buying your children that black women have abandoned because they're sold at a fucking discount. There are so many overt and covert racist talking points to this discussion that I can't even count. But I guess since, as some black folks commented, he ate us up with his response. I guess that white man is invited to the proverbial cookout, huh? You fucking clowns.